Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Thought Game Channel. I'm AJ Gels. Guys, it's time once again for the weekly show. I'm coming to you a little late today. Sorry, I slept in this morning. I was up late last night playing the closed beta for Ghost Recon Wildlands. I have about an hour 45 minutes of footage of me playing co-op with a friend of mine and his roommate. Both really good guys. That video I'll start uploading after this video uploads, so it'll take a good while to get up. Just because, like I said, I think the file's like 20 some gigs, so it'll take a little bit. But you'll be able to hopefully watch that by tonight. And watch all the shenanigans. Also, I got a little drunk. Well, little might be a understatement. Either way, so I slept in today, and either way, I'm here. I'm going to talk some news with you guys this week, as I do every week. As always, the links to every article that I talk about will be down in the description, along with timestamps of when I talk about each one, so you can kind of skip around and read the ones that you are interested in. Also, real quick, this week's show I am splitting up into two parts. I'll be doing one today and one tomorrow. This is all just down to, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm talking about like 13 articles today. Just because I'm behind, I actually put less today than will be in tomorrow. I think I have like another 17, 18 to talk about tomorrow. So I mean, there's a lot of news that came out this week that I will be talking about. Trying to think anything else I need to say. I think that's about it. All right. First up, article from IGN. Fallout 4 getting high-res upgrade for PC and PS4 Pro. Article by Alex Gilyadev of, like I said, IGN. The article reads, Fallout 4 is getting a substantial high-resolution upgrade for PC and PS4 Pro. Update 1.9, which comes out next week for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, will add a native 1444p resolution, enhanced God ray effects, better draw distances for objects, NPCs, trees, and grass, and enhanced lighting and graphics for the PS4 Pro. Bethesda will also release a high-resolution texture pack for PC next week as a free download, and I quote, a love letter to our amazing PC fans that have supported us not just with Fallout 4, but across multiple decades in games, end quote, the company said in a blog post. The high-res pack does require the following recommended specs to run: 8GB of RAM or more, Intel Core i7 5820K or better, Windows 7, 8, or 10, 64-bit OS required, a GTX 1080 8GB AMD Radeon RX 490 8GB, so that's the GTX 1080 8GB or the AMD Radeon RX 490 8GB, and 58GB free space on your PC. All right, I saw something interesting. The guys over at Kind of Funny, I can't remember. I think it might have been last week's show or the one before last week's show. On PS I Love You XOXO. I know I quote the show a lot. I really love Kind of Funny. I love Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty. But they talked about Fallout 4, and I think they put my thoughts of that game into words, and it was just, Fallout 4 is just... the game feels really dated. I mean, like, it was good. It was just... I mean, it looks better than 3. It looks better than New Vegas. It plays a little smoother. It's this, that, the other thing. It's just... we've seen all of this before. It's just in this new... And I mean, and it's a really great mechanic, and it's just... it's something that I think BioWare's doing now, because I think they've realized that their old formula has gotten stale. And I think it's Bethesda's turn to kind of learn that their old formula is a little stale, and maybe it needs a shot in the arm, which I think they're probably going to, which hopefully they'll be doing for Elder Scrolls 6. But again, I want it to be known that I'm not trying to slam on Bethesda for Fallout. I love Fallout 4. Good game. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. So it's a good game, really fun. I'm liking the DLC. I plan on hopping right back into that in a little bit. It kind of comes down to how my schedule is going to work. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But yeah, I mean, Fallout 4 is a great game. It's just, you know what I mean? I don't want to say the term polishing a turd, because that's not right, because it's not a turd. It's actually a good game. It's just you're trying to polish the graphics that have never been. Maybe it's different on PC because I play on console. But again, I don't know. It's like after stuff like The Witcher, I expect more out of Bethesda, if that makes sense. Because I'm sorry, The Witcher 3, in my personal opinion, the best RPG I have played in years. And I'm sure there will be people who disagree with me on that, whatever. But, I mean, I'm just sorry, but The Witcher 3 was a technical masterpiece. The story was phenomenal. I love the characters, the world, the quests, everything about that. I love that game. It was phenomenal. Either way, that's enough Witcher fanboying out of me. Moving on, also, I guess, in Fallout... I'm sorry, my nose is... I don't know what's the thing in between the nostrils. Really itchy. What is that called? Anybody who knows what this part of the nose is? You know, the thing that separates the nostrils. Somebody, and I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. Either way, Fallout Shelter coming to Xbox One next week. Oh my god, am I still drunk? Christ. Article by Jordan Serrani of IGN. The article reads, Fallout Shelter is coming to Xbox One and Windows 10 on February 7th. Bethesda Game Studios announced today, according to a post on Xbox Wire, the free-to-play Vault Manager will be part of Microsoft's Play Anywhere initiative, meaning progress saves and achievements will transfer seamlessly across Xbox One and Windows 10. First announced at E3 2015, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, I mean, that was a short article. Personally, I really liked Fallout Shelter. I thought it was a fun game. Those little phone games like that, they don't do enough to hold my attention for very long. It's usually why I don't, play them for a long time. I think the only game on my phone that I think has really survived, well, there are two. One is a Sudoku game, just because I like those little puzzles. And the other is what's the other? XCOM Enemy Unknown. Or no, or was it Enemy Within? Whichever one had all the meld and the extra stuff that got launched on iPhone. It was a good port, by the way. What was it talking about? Oh, yeah. Next, Deus Ex franchise on hiatus. Hiatus working on Guardians of the Galaxy, says report. Article by Joe Scrubbles of IGN. And the article reads, the rebooted Deus Ex series has apparently been put on hiatus after failing to meet sales expectations, says a new report. Eurogamer reports that inside sources have said that developers Eidos Montreal has moved the majority of its efforts towards developing the next game in another rebooted series, Tomb Raider. It is also working on games for the new Square Enix Marvel partnership, beginning with the Avengers project. A collaboration with Crystal Dynamics. Eurogamer also reports that the studio will lead development on a second Marvel game based on Guardians of the Galaxy. Telltale is currently working on its own Guardians of the Galaxy game due for release this year. That report has been corroborated by Kotaku. The last Deus Ex game, Mankind Divided, left several elements of the wider story unresolved, apparently due to be addressed in a third game. However, it seems that any new entry in the series will be many years away at the very least. It remains to be seen what will become the Deus Ex University and, I quote, ongoing, expanding, and connected game world, end quote, that comprised Eidos Montreal's game, as well as books, comics, and even a fashion line. It's just, I don't know. I thought that Mankind Divided was good. It's just, I don't feel like they took a big enough step forward from the original. I mean, it was smoother, it was a better game. It just still, for me, it didn't scratch an itch. It just kind of, I felt, it's hard to put it. It was good, but at the same time, it just didn't do it for me. And also, I mean, I'd much rather them be working on, the next another Tomb Raider game. There's these Marvel projects I'm interested to hear about. I like Guardians of the Galaxy is like one of the few Marvel projects right now that I can Marvel movie series that I can really enjoy, but that's just because that they can mostly exist on their own. If you ever want to hear about I have big problems with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just I don't like how you got to watch all of the movies and all of the TV. It's so much to watch and so much to keep track of. It's not fun anymore. You know, like I used to like when the characters could exist in their own world, but then maybe meet up a little bit. You know, it's like, oh, here's Iron Man and he's meeting. You know, here's the Fantastic Four, but they're meeting up with Spider-Man because they're both in New York. It makes sense. All right, great. And then they're both off now. They're doing their own thing. That's what I used to like, but now it's just we have to have little peaks and nods, and we have to further this overarching story, and it's just, there's so many movies. It's just, I think Disney I think what Disney is doing to Marvel, in my opinion, is what Disney will be doing to Star Wars in the future. Because, again, if you don't know, I think Disney is going to try and kill Star Wars. Either way, I got off topic. I keep doing that today. Sorry, I'm really scattered. Let's see here. Next article. Deus Ex sequel was originally going to be made by Obsidian, IGN, through IGN Unfiltered. Article by Alex Osborne of IGN. A sequel to Deus Ex Human Revolution was originally going to be made by Obsidian Entertainment, according to studio CEO Fergus Urquhart. Hopefully that's pronounced. While Eidos Montreal ended up developing the follow-up to Human Revolution, Urquhart revealed on the latest episode of our monthly interview show, IGN Unfiltered, that Obsidian was initially going to develop the sequel, and it would have been out 2 years prior. I know that Human Revolution 2 would have been out 2 years before, because we were originally... this is really weird. You can go check it out in the article yourself, but the quote reads, and I quote, "I know that Human Revolution 2 would have been out 2 years earlier before because we were originally ... We were a developer that was going to do it." End quote. Like I said, go check it out. That's how it's written. He said, Eidos Montreal sequel titled Deus Ex Mankind Divided, released in September of last year, PlayStation 1, blah, blah, blah. The game received a glowing review from IGN, layered, intelligent, and impeccably designed. And that's a stretch. Gameplay that rewards curiosity and creativity. True. Meanwhile, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. Yep, that's all. I don't really have a big comment on this. Again, maybe it's just because Deus Ex just doesn't... it just doesn't scratch an itch for me. It's just, it's something about the characters, it's something about the world. It just doesn't do it for me. But I don't know. I mean, maybe if they're having trouble, or if they're doing what they are doing now with with the franchise, maybe they could ship it off to another studio and let that studio handle the third game and wrap up the story threads. But who knows? It's all for the future. I'm not gonna lie, this makes me a little happy. I mean, not because people put work into this game and all this, but I hated this game. Though this is, in my opinion, the worst game I've played on this channel. And any of you who have seen that Let's Play know exactly what I'm talking about. The Last Guardian has had a permanent price cut. Article by Matt Porter of IGN. The article reads, "The Last Guardian has only been out for a couple months, but it's already had its price slashed by 33% in the US. According to Polygon, Sony has confirmed a permanent price cut down to $40 from $60 on the PlayStation Store. The game has also been cheap to buy in the UK for a good chunk of time. It's currently €30 on the UK PlayStation Store and $27 on Amazon. However, Sony has given no word on whether the price cut is permanent in the UK as well as the US. Sony has just... Wait, what? I think that means Sony hasn't commented if the cut is permanent in the UK like it is permanent in the US. I think that's what that's trying to say. I don't know. That was worded a little oddly. Sony has just revealed a record number of PlayStation 4 consoles shipped for the quarter. However, its profits are down. Yeah, it was like... they shipped a really high number of consoles, but their sales were down, which again could maybe come up to the whole thing of, and this is something that a lot of people have been talking about. There's really not many exclusives. If you really look at the Sony's closing down some a lot of first party studios. It's just really weird, because like the only exclusive that I can really think about coming out in the next while is well, I mean, there are two exclusives. There's Halo Wars 2 for the Xbox One, and then there is Horizon Zero Dawn for the PlayStation 4. And nothing against Halo Wars. I love Halo Wars. It's a great game. And I'm really interested to play the sequel, and I will be playing it on the channel. I think Horizon Zero Dawn is going to blow that thing out of the water, because, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn looks so interesting. Really neat for a new IP. I think it's being done by Guerrilla Games, I believe. Again, I get so many games in my mind right now. Somebody feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Guerrilla Games. But yeah, I mean, but more on topic. The Last Guardian, that game needs to die. I mean, it was awful. I mean, I'm sorry, $40 is too much for that game. That game, it's visually nice, but at the same time, it plays like crap. It's not fun. The story's not interesting. It's boring. It's annoying. It's frustrating. I screamed into my microphone a few times. Sorry to anybody who watched. But yeah, I mean, just all in all, I hated the crap out of the game. Let's see here. Next article. EA puts the brakes on Skate 4 rumors. Article by Seth G. Macy of IGN. EA has confirmed there's no Skate 4, at least not yet. On January 28th, EA community manager Daniel Lingen got the hype machine primed and ready when he tweeted out #Skate4. During the question and answer period, EA's quarterly investors call, it flat out said it's, and I quote, not presently making Skate 4. That doesn't mean there's no future for the Skate franchise, but it just means we may be waiting quite a while before we're flicking sticks and landing tricks. Again, Skate 3 came out, wow, that came back in 2010. Currently backwards compatible with Xbox One. Personally, I've always thought that the Skate franchise was overrated. Not a big fan. Maybe it's just because I really suck at it, so... Let's see here. This next article comes from us on Destructoid. Tony Hawk says new game in the works without Activision's involvement. Article by Peter Glagowski, like I said, of Destructoid. Along with a documentary for gamers of the late 90s and early 2000s, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series was a phenomenon. Not only had we never seen an extreme sports game be so well recognized or realized, but each new iteration added so many new elements that it felt like dawning of a new era of gaming. For many, the series was the first introduction we had to level editing, online play, and open world gameplay. How did these games come together? How was such a simple concept expanded on while maintaining quality? The man himself, Tony Hawk, sent out a tweet telling us that a documentary about the series was in the works. YouTuber Ice Bears Forever is directing the video, along with input from former Neversoft producer Ralph D'Amato. Ralph worked on all the games up to Project 8, so he is well versed in the history of the series. ATP in the tweet reads, a THPS documentary is in the works. Follow at THPS Film for updates on Pretending I'm a Superman. Tweet by Tony Hawk at Tony Hawk, January 29, 2017. The article continues. In addition to news of this documentary, Tony Hawk recently sat down with Genkim Magazine, I don't know that one, a few weeks ago to discuss the evolution of the series. The last question brought up the possibility of a new entry, to which Tony Hawk responded, and I quote, not from Activision, I'm potentially working on something, but it's so early I couldn't talk about it. I don't have any contracts signed, but it's exciting. I feel like it's with the right people, so I should know more in the next couple months, end quote. The last bit gets me really excited. I know the series hasn't seen a good entry in over a decade. 5 is a travesty, but the fond memories I have of those first 3 games can never be replaced. Even going back to the early series today feels great, with excellent level design and tight controls, making for an addicting experience. It's sad how many games try their hardest to copy the mechanics of Pro Skater without putting in the extra effort to craft memorable stages. For a taste of what the new documentary might entail, why not look at Ice Bear Forever's previous video on the history of the series? There's a hyperlink there, all that for in the article. I think it's a great thing if he wants to make another game in the franchise to leave Activision. Activision is Activision. But yeah, I think if that series wants to continue, it needs a shot in the arm. It needs the I feel like I'm using that expression a lot, but it needs that it needs a step forward, it needs a kick in the ass. And I think leaving Activision is a good decision. Next article, EA confirms new Need for Speed will be out in the next fiscal year. Article by Jonathan Dornbush of IGN, a new Need for Speed is currently in development and is set to be launched during EA's fiscal year 2018. The publisher has revealed. EA CEO Andrew Wilson. Sorry. Oh, it was all peppery. Oh, I'm sorry. I had Subway for lunch, and I put a lot of peppers on my sandwich. Yeah, I just shared more than you needed to know. Either way, Andrew Wilson revealed during its quarterly earnings call that the team behind the upcoming Need for Speed game, and I quote, is pushing the boundaries of action driving. And I quote, we've given this game an extended development cycle to focus on innovation, and the Need for Speed team is pushing the boundaries of action driving with what we believe is the most exciting and best-looking Need for Speed game we've ever produced, end quote. Wilson said during the fiscal year 2017 third quarter call. All right, before I continue with this, for the love of God, go back to the older games. Need for Speed, not the most recent Need for Speed Most Wanted, the one back on the PS2. Carbon was good. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Go back to the earlier games, where you had like a little bit of... I personally like the ones with the story and then like the live action cutscenes. That was one of the few games I think that worked. But I love those games. It was a lot of fun. They were simple. There wasn't a whole lot to them. I didn't need to play online with people. Because I think... Well, God, what was that? What was that Ubisoft attempted MMO? Wasn't What the hell was it? Give me The Crew. That's what it was. I'm like, Cars isn't right. It was The Crew. It tried to do that. It was not good. It didn't work. But yeah, I think this there's great potential in this if they can actually accomplish that. The article continues, Wilson said the title will launch in the company's 2018 fiscal year, which begins on April 1st, 2017, and ends on March 31st, 2018. Developer Ghost previously revealed that a new Need for Speed game would be coming during 2017. The last Need for Speed game, released on November 3rd, 2015, and came to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. IGN gave the game a 6.3, saying it, and I quote, looks the part, sounds the part, and is surprisingly... reverent to real world car culture, end quote, but that, and I quote, beneath its flashy exterior is not, it's not quite firing on all cylinders. And again, personally, from everything that I saw about this one, it didn't excite me. I didn't play that one. But yeah, it's just overall, I gotta say, again, I really want them to go old school with a Need for Speed game and not keep trying to do what they've been doing. Let's see here. Next article, Cyber Danganronpa. I keep having to push myself not to say Danganronpa because I say that and some purists hate me for it. Cyber Danganronpa VR is coming to Europe. For my European listeners out there. Article by Chris Carter of Destructoid. There we go. Found on Peggy. If you have access to the Hong Kong PSN account, you can access Cyber Danganronpa VR, the class trial, Spike Chunsoft's VR spinoff, right now on PS4 with English voiceover. Let's see here. But if you don't feel like mucking around with all that, you can just wait for it to hit the West officially, which, as the publisher has noted, is sometime this year. How soon is sometime? Well, it might be soonish, as the game was just rated for Europe. I tried it in Japan at TGS a few years back, and it's fun if you're already a fan. Just don't expect any earth-shattering revelations, as it's basically an up-close and personal encounter with Monokuma. That's the end of the article. Yeah, I wouldn't expect this to be anything like special, but at the same time, that's kind of cool because I like Monokuma and I like Danganronpa. I'm still working on the sequel on my Vita. I just keep getting busy and just keep forgetting to just sit down and hack out that game. But I really like the Danganronpa series. Let's see here. Namco's founder and father of Pac-Man dies at age 91. Article by Owen S. Good. Polygon. So here, the article reads, Masaya Nakamura, the founder of Namco, who helmed the company as it delivered Pac-Man and multiple hits to spark arcade video gaming's global boom in the 1980s, has died. Nakamura was 91, and often called, and I quote, the father of Pac-Man by the company. Nakamura founded Nakamura Manufacturing in 1955, the company that later became Nakamura Amusement Machine Manufacturing Company, Namco. The company began making small carnival-type rides and midway games, a shrewd and aggressive move by Nakamura to acquire Atari's Japanese subsidiary in the 1970s gave it a foothold in the emerging coin-operated video game market, and set the stage for Namco to launch several hits in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Namco launched Galaxian, I hope that's pronounced correct, the first video game to use multicolor sprites in 1979, and then struck gold in 1980 with Pac-Man. Pac-Man became a global pop culture phenomenon in the face of the 1980s arcade craze, crossing over into licensed toys and breakfast cereal, and a Saturday morning cartoon. Namco followed Pac-Man with an even bigger sequel, Miss Pac-Man, in 1981, then Galaga, which still endures as one of the greatest arcade shooters of all time. Namco pumped out hits such as Dig Dug and Pole Position after opening a North American licensing division across the street from Atari. Namco sold rights to adapt its hits to the console maker. Indeed, a poorly executed adaptation of Pac-Man for the Atari VCS 2600 is partially blamed for the collapse of home console gaming in the middle 1980s. Pac-Man was designed by Toru Iwatani, 62. Nakamura had held an emeritus position with Bandai Namco when the two companies merged in 2005. Nakamura died January 22nd, the company said on Monday. That's the end of the article. As I always say, thoughts, everything goes out to the family, and the industry has lost an icon. This is kind of like when oh my god, I'm going to hell for this. I can't. What the president of Nintendo, Iwata. There we go. Satoru Iwata, who passed away 2015. Was the last year? God, I can't remember anymore. The years are running together. I'm sorry. I'm laughing, and this is meant to be more of a serious talk. But again, the gaming industry has lost a big icon, like it said, a guy who really helped kind of lead the craze in the 80s with arcade games. So again, just respect to such a icon. I don't know. I'm running out of words. All right. Now that we've got the serious stuff out of the way, Ubisoft announces For Honor open beta dates. So this is for those of you who didn't get a chance to play the closed beta, or were like me and didn't get an email that we got access to the closed beta and didn't find out. I was when I got my code for the closed beta for Ghost Recon Wildlands. I was going through and it said beta access. I said my Uplay account said I had access to 2 beta codes. And I'm like, what? And I looked at it, I'm like, apparently I got access to the For Honor closed beta, and I was a little PO'd. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the article. Article by Matt Burtz of Game Informer. Hot off the heels of the closed beta, Ubisoft has revealed the open beta dates for its medieval brawler For Honor. Starting February 9th, you can jump into the fray on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC to test out the skill-based melee combat. The beta includes the elimination mode, a respawn-free round-based best-of-5 face-off between 2 teams of 4 fighters, the Dominion. The Dominion, Brawl, and Duel modes for the closed beta are also included. The event runs through February 12th. Before the open beta kicks off, Ubisoft is hosting a star-studded Twitch live streaming featuring Jason Momoa, Lauren Cohen, Alfie Allen, and Demetrius Johnson. You can tune in, gives a little link here, on February 7th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. For Honor officially releases on February 14th. To hear Miller's take on the closed beta, you can watch this informative test chamber, another hyperlink on the article. Now, when it really comes to For Honor, I'm really interested to see what this game, because one of the guys I was playing with yesterday when I was playing Ghost Recon said, he's really interested in this because he really likes Dark Souls. I'm not a big Dark Souls guy, but this looks like a more serious to me, it looks like a more serious version of Dynasty Warriors in a weird way. It really reminds me of that game. But now that I really I kind of took another look at it, I'm like, yeah, he's right. It is really Dark Soulish. I don't know. I'm really interested to play it and see what it's like. And yes, I will be playing the game when it comes out on the 14th. And getting footage next week for the open beta. Let's see here. Our next to last article, also coming to us by way of Game Informer. Nilfgaardian deck coming to standalone Gwent game next week's article, also by Matt Burtz. Back when CD Projekt Red first showcased the standalone version of Gwent, we noticed many interesting deviations from the versions in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. One of the more notable ones was the removal of the Nilfgaardian deck, which was replaced with the Skelligan one. Now the developers' plans to bring the popular faction back into the fold via a major content update next week. According to the press release, the new faction is focused on controlling the battlefield. Its faction-specific cards give players the ability to reveal cards in an opponent's hand, control the order of their cards, or even introduce disloyal units to their ranks. Starting on February 6th, players can collect the 60 new cards, which expand beyond the new faction to include new options for the Northern Realms, Scoia'tael, Skellige, and Monsters decks as well. Gwent is still in closed beta for Xbox One and PC. You can try to join test groups by visiting the official website, hyperlink in the article. Now, our final article that I'll be covering from Matthew Kato, also of Game Informer, with the Super Bowl tomorrow. I don't know, I'm not being a good sports fan right now. I'm probably actually not going to watch, just because I don't have my cable hooked up. So, yeah, I'm going to be a nerd and not watch. What was I talking about? Right. I was talking about Madden. Every year there's always the Madden simulation that predicts the Super Bowl winner of every year. This article kind of runs everything down. So to my sports fans, I hope you enjoyed this. Let's see here. EA Sports has once again used its Madden title to predict the winner of this Sunday Super Bowl. Can the Falcons keep Tom Brady from a 5th Super Bowl win? ? In the first half, both teams go to their big targets, whether it's Brady hitting Chris Hogan for a 38-yard TD pass to tie it up in the first quarter, or Falcons Julio Jones catching a deep ball to set up the TD that gives the Falcons the lead at the end of the first half, 17-10. Don't yell at me for maybe mispronouncing that Falcons player. I'm a Pats fan. I'm not a Falcons fan. I really don't know who's out there playing for the Falcons. Let's see here. The third quarter belongs to the Patriots, however, who build to a 20-17 lead. The Falcons take back the lead in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes to go, thanks to a crucial Matt Ryan TD. to Mohamed Sanu Sr., hopefully. Down 2024, Brady drives down the field and faces a 4th and 4 in the red zone with the game in his hands. In the end, Brady is named the Super Bowl MVP with 3 TDs and 305 yards, and receiver Julian Edelman, number 11, accounts for 9 catches and a TD. On the other side, Matt Ryan threw for 2 TDs and an interception, and overall, the Falcons' offense fell short, combined Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman, accounting for only 87 yards, and star receiver Julio Jones, again, or is it Julie? I'm pretty sure it's Julio, or it might be Julie. I don't know. Fuck it. Go read the article yourself and yell at me later. Apart from his big catch in the first half, never found the end zone and was kept in check. So the final score of the game would be, I think it was... brain not working. It's not giving like the final score, but it's not being super accurate. Either way, Pats win. I think it's I think it's like it was a 27-24. Yeah, it's gonna be I think they were saying something like 27-24 will be the win for the New England Patriots. So go Pats, and if you're a sports fan, I hope you were not pulling your hair out while you're listening to me read that. I'm sorry, just Game Informer's font size is so freaking small, it's hard to read. But that's all the news I got for you guys this week. Thank you for actually for this video. Come back tomorrow for the rest of it. I just want to say, I'm sorry, I'm also clicking around here, getting ready to upload this. I'm going to say thank you for watching. As always, Facebook, Twitter, and the website can be found down in the description. And remember to like, comment, and if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. I was about to say something with my schedule. Earlier I made mention of my schedule. Let me think here. I'll be doing another video, kind of like for the series, to actually sit down and talk about this. But Yakuza 0 is going on hold on the channel, or it's kind of going on hiatus. I will pick the game back up late February, early March sometime, just when I get some more free time in my schedule. It's just all because I didn't own the game, I was renting it, and I just got through chapter 2, and there's like 16 chapters. The game is super long. Really good game. It's just, it'll take me forever to finish. I'm past the halfway mark in Resident Evil 7, so I plan on finishing that up in the next about 5 days. And another reason Yakuza 0 is kind of going on the back burner is just because, we have a lot of other titles that I can get through really quickly, being For Honor, Halo Wars 2, and Sniper Elite 4. So I'll just kind of be gunning through those pretty quickly. And then once Horizon Zero Dawn starts, it'll be Horizon Zero Dawn, then Ghost Recon, then Mass Effect Andromeda. So there will be some free time in between all of those where I can really kind of dig back into Yakuza 0. So that's kind of the plan. Like I said, I'll be doing another video for that. Still, yes, I'm still planning to do that Nintendo Switch video that I've been promising for about 2 weeks now. I was going to do it this weekend, but then the whole beta thing for Ghost Recon kind of showed up. So again, everything's a little kind of up in the air right now. So, what was I saying? Either way, thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, I'm AJ Gills. This is the Untitled Gaming Channel. I'm out.